Habemus Papam. These words, "We have a pope," have echoed across centuries, stirring the hearts of millions, heralding the dawn of a new spiritual chapter for the Roman Catholic Church. But as the world waits once more for white smoke to rise above the Sistine Chapel, one question captures global attention. Who will be the next pope? And more importantly, what kind of church will he lead into the future? The upcoming papal conclave is not just a matter of ecclesiastical formality. It is a monumental spiritual and geopolitical event with the power to reshape the world's largest Christian denomination, influence international diplomacy, and spark cultural shifts in ways many have not yet begun to imagine. A church on the brink of transformation today, the Catholic Church stands at a crossroad, its foundations shaken by decades of scandals, demographic shifts, doctrinal debates, and the relentless march of modernity. Yet even amidst decline in traditional strongholds like Europe, Catholicism remains a growing, living force, flourishing in Africa, Asia, and Latin America. This conclave will reflect that evolution. For the first time in the Church's 2,000-year history, less than half of the cardinal electors hail from Europe, a striking testament to the faith-shifting epicenter. Nearly 80% of the voting cardinals were appointed by Pope Francis, whose transformative, often controversial papacy emphasized humility, inclusion, and a church of the poor. But Francis also defied labels. He elevated voices from the global south, but maintained firm stances on traditional teachings, leaving the Church in a delicate balance between progress and preservation. Now that balance teeters once more. The conclave, mystery, ritual, and power. Soon 120 cardinals from every corner of the globe will be sealed within the frescoed confines of the Sistine Chapel, surrounded by Michelangelo's majestic depictions of heaven and judgment. With solemn vows of secrecy and prayer, they will engage in days or weeks of debate, strategy, and soul-searching. Every name whispered, every ballot cast, carries the weight of history. This process has always been shrouded in secrecy, tradition, and suspense. But never before has it been so open to the unexpected. There are no clear favorites, no consensus, no guarantees, only possibilities, and they are fascinating. The contenders, guardians of tradition, voices for change. Let's meet the most talked-about figures likely to become Francis's successor and possibly redefine the Catholic Church's future. Cardinal Pietro Parolin, the diplomatic statesman, age 69. Nationality, Italian. The Vatican's seasoned Secretary of State, Parolin has spent a decade as Francis's most trusted aide, serving as the Church's top diplomat and steward of the Roman Curia. Polished, multilingual, and methodical, he's considered a frontrunner with deep institutional knowledge. Some see him as a safe pair of hands, a man who could stabilize the Vatican while steering it through global tensions. Yet critics fear he might prioritize Vatican diplomacy over pastoral renewal or doctrinal reform. While conservative on marriage equality, his global outlook and pragmatic style might appeal to a conclave seeking continuity without upheaval. Still, an old Italian proverb rings ominously. He who enters the conclave as pope leaves as a cardinal. Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle, the Asian Francis, age 67, nationality Filipino. The name Luis Antonio Tagle brings a smile to many Catholics worldwide. Charismatic, humble, and deeply compassionate, Tagle embodies Pope Francis's vision of a church rooted in mercy and justice. Once Archbishop of Manila, Tagle now serves in Rome, overseeing global mission efforts. He has voiced support for migrants, single mothers, and the marginalized, advocating a more open-hearted church, while holding firm to anti-abortion views and opposing euthanasia. In 2015, he boldly urged the Church to reconsider its severe posture toward gay people, divorcees, and unwed mothers, saying the damage done by judgmental teachings had alienated the faithful. Tagle could become the first Asian pope in history, an emotional and symbolic victory for the Church in the developing world, and especially in the Philippines, where Catholicism shapes national identity. Cardinal Fridolin Ambongo Besungu, the Voice of Africa, age 65, nationality Democratic Republic of Congo, from the heart of Africa, rises. Cardinal Fridolin Ambongo, Archbishop of Kinshasa, a fierce protector of the Church amidst war, poverty, and persecution, Ambongo's voice carries moral authority. His appointment by Pope Francis was a nod to Africa's explosive Catholic growth, where millions join the faith each year. Ambongo is staunchly conservative on social issues, opposing same-sex blessings, but he is also a bridge builder, advocating interreligious respect in a country fractured by violence. Could the next pope be African? In Ambongo, many see strength, courage, and conviction, qualities needed in a world full of chaos. Cardinal Peter Turkson, the bridge between worlds. Age, 76, nationality, Ghanaian. An influential figure for over 2 decades, Cardinal Peter Turkson brings charisma and controversy. He was the first Ghanaian cardinal, a favorite in the 2013 conclave, and still inspires excitement. A man of paradox, Turkson is both a funk guitarist and biblical scholar, a conservative on sexuality, but a progressive voice against criminalizing homosexuality in Africa. He once warned Europe about the growing influence of Islam, comments he later retracted. He brings intellectual firepower, bold presence, and real-world experience, having led the Vatican's Department for Justice and Peace. If the cardinals seek a pope who can speak to modern issues like climate change, inequality, and coexistence, Turkson may once again rise as a compelling candidate, a church of the past, present, and future. The next pope must carry an extraordinary burden to protect the soul of a 2,000-year-old institution, while also confronting modern crises. Abuse scandals, falling attendance in the West, LGBTQ+ inclusion, the role of women, political polarization, and the rise of secularism. He must be both shepherd and reformer, mystic and manager, a man of tradition and transformation. This election is not just about choosing a leader, it is about deciding what kind of church the world needs in the 21st century. A church without borders. Whether the cardinals choose an African firebrand, an Asian unifier, or a European insider, one thing is certain. This conclave will send a message to Catholics around the world. Will the Church lean into its growing diversity or cling to old centers of power? Will it choose compassion over control, inclusion over isolation? Or will it return to more rigid traditions in response to modern confusion? The decision is imminent. The impact will be immense. The world waits. In a time of geopolitical unrest, climate collapse, and spiritual hunger, the Catholic Church still holds moral sway over more than 1 billion souls. What happens in the Sistine Chapel will not stay behind closed doors. White smoke may rise soon, bells may toll, a new name may echo from the Vatican balcony. And when it does, the world will not just meet a new pope, it will witness the future of the Catholic Church begin.